Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to yet another SHOUTCraft Clan War for Season 2 right here on MLG TV. My name is TotalBiscuit, and it's my absolute pleasure to bring you Root vs. Startale, and this is what it's going to look like today. It's going to actually be a pretty even matchup. I know a lot of people going into this were thinking, oh, well, Startale's got this, no problem at all, but if I were to make a slight prediction here, I'd actually say that based on the picks, which seem to be super smart here by Root is actually going into this the favorite, I would think. Perhaps I'm maybe overestimating them slightly, but frankly, as far as I'm concerned, their lineup is looking good. I mean, have a look at this. You've got Hydra and Masa as the opener in the 2v2 on Ice Realm, taking on Pet and Hack. Then you've got Hydra again, taking on Daisy. It's a good match. Hydra obviously just comes off a second-place finish in WCS World, which is absolutely fantastic. Then we've got Masa taking on Curious. Now, usually I'd say Curious has got that, but Curious's recent form and Masa's strong TVZ, that says to me that Masa's got a pretty good shot at it. Then, Legend from Startale will be taking on Cats, which, again, is a matchup that I think Cats has actually got a good shot at. It's pretty good. I think they've got a good shot at those first four matches. Then, as maybe the wheels start to come off a little bit, Engines of War, you've got Kelazur versus Pet. Now, Pet is certainly not the most well-known Zerg player, but he is very good. So, I really don't know what to say about that one. Kelazur, or Kelzahur, I think, I don't know. It's hard to pronounce. Whatever the case, he has recently sort of flown onto the scene with a decent result in WCS. I don't know if he has what it takes to take on Pet, but I guess we're going to find out. And then we've got Solo, a player from the Seed Academy, taking on Hack on Suncross. That, if it gets that far, I think Startale's got a good chance of taking that one. Hack's a great player. Solo is relatively inexperienced in comparison, so I'd say that one goes to Startale. And then the Ace match, if it gets that far, will be on Crazy Clash. But as we've seen, it really comes down to how much these guys have practiced, ultimately. We don't know. We just have no idea. This is Season 2 of Clan Wars. It's the first time that both Root and Startale have played. We don't know what they think of the new map pool. We have absolutely no idea if they're any good at it. We've, of course, seen Prime get blown the hell out really fast. Incredibly quickly. And that was, of course, because Yo Flash Wars practiced and Prime didn't. Second match was much closer. But outside of that, it's a bit of a mystery as to what's going to end up happening here. Now, as I mentioned, our first match... There we go. Wonderful. Our first match... I'm not even wearing my glasses today. Good lord, I actually need to go grab those after this match. But my first match will be Pet and Hack taking on Hydra and Masa. Ah, thank God. He's finally arrived. Sorry, we're waiting on Hydra, which is why there's been the delay here. We're going to have to forfeit him if he didn't arrive, so I'm very glad that he's shown up. That would be a little bit embarrassing if he didn't for Root. It's like, hey, yeah, first match of the Clan War, you've got to forfeit the first map. Not great. But we're going to be going into that one, and it's very hard to say. I mean, I know Pet and Hack have done 2v2 work before. I don't know how good Hydra and Masa is at 2v2, but it's going to be a TVZ versus a TVZ on a match with shared bases, so... This could be a lengthier 2v2 than normal, depending on how experienced these guys are. We're about ready to get started, folks. This should be good, I hope. Bloody well better. Alright, Pet says ready. Hydra Masa ready. Hack is ready. Let's rock and roll, ladies and gentlemen. First map's going to be Ice Realm. Here's your intro. Assuming it bloody well works. Which it doesn't. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Ice Realm, and it's my pleasure to introduce to you the team of Startale, featuring Pet in the blue trunks playing Zerg. He is to the east versus his opponent up to the north. We have in the baby blue trunks playing Terra and Startale Hack versus their opponents. To the... Is this game really, really quiet? This game is incredibly quiet right now. Hang on a second. We have some... This is clearly not set up properly. One moment. I have a feeling I know what's wrong. There we go. That should do the trick. Let me know if the sound levels are wrong, and I'll try and correct them. I'm not really sure what's going on with that. There we go. For some reason, my Windows Mixer had StarCraft down to like 5%, which was absolutely not what we were supposed to be doing. There we go. Problem has been solved. To the south position, in the red trunks playing Zerg, we have Root Hydra, recent second-place finisher at WCS World Season 1 in 2015. Really, really strong competitor. Was one map away from taking the entire thing. And, of course, his teammate to the west position, considered one of the best Terrans in America. In the purple trunks, it is Root Masa. Alright. So, last time around, when we did Clan Wars, you're probably aware that we did a map called Sacred Path. And Sacred Path was a split-base map. Now, people asked us to do a few more shared-base maps, because they tend to result in longer games. They're easier to defend. Admittedly, there are some strange things going on this map, as you probably noticed on the minimap. There are these bridges, well, more specifically these gateways that are to be found right here, that will disappear and reappear every 2 minutes, and they block off potential attack paths. So, there are times when your base is a bit safer, and then there are times when your base is a bit more vulnerable. But one way or the other, even though it is just shared base with 3 sets of minerals, you do have 2 ramps to defend. And there are multiple attack paths to get to those 2 ramps, and, of course, to the naturals, which are very exposed. So bear that in mind. So far, what we've seen for the most part is players will go for a 3-base setup and try and win from there. So they'll take 2 bases, depending on who. Usually it's the Zerg player that takes the second base, obviously because the Zerg really benefits from having that additional lava. And then the Terran player will just kind of stay on 1 base for a while and then maybe try and take this base over here, or maybe this base over here. And that seems to work pretty well, but so far the meta hasn't really developed all that much on this map yet, so it's really hard to say exactly what these guys are going to try and do. Alright, let's rock and roll. Lings are on the way. Pet making his way across the map. I believe the gateway should actually extend out shortly. There they are. The gateways have now popped back up. And we find ourselves a Reaper, and Master's Reaper control is pretty damn good. I don't expect him to lose his Reaper here at all. In fact, what's probably going to happen is a bunch of Lings are going to die. So, Master with the first blood, great opening. He's going to be able to grab another Zergling, probably just kill all 4 of them. We'll see if he decides, is he going to go for another one? No, he's going to finally go and back up since the Queen is out. Pet didn't slack on that one. Notice, by the way, that Pet's currently playing 1 base. He hasn't attempted to expand yet. I have to wonder if the Terran will try and take this. And Master will be able to hop into the base, but there is double Hellion production coming out. So we're looking at a Ling Hellion, which is very, very standard 2v2 meta here. Pretty strong. But the question is, what is the opponent doing? Well, that's where things get really interesting, because Master is already building another command center. And we haven't seen that much expanding on this map yet, so this is quite unusual. Lings are on the way, trying to get us around. Speed is now done. Hack is moving in with his Hellions as well, so there is an attack force ready. But Root is playing a more economic-centric style. They're going defensive, they're going to try and wall off with Queens. This area is walled off anyway, so actually this is looking pretty good for Root. They're getting a defensive spine crawler. They've got 3 Queens here, so there's no way this is going to break through. There are not enough units here from the Startale players, so Root is well prepared for this, and Marines on the way as well, so there's no way. They're not going to break in. In the meantime, Hack's actually going to transition out to air, and he's going to go for Banshee with Cloaking Field. And Masa is also going for Starport. He's getting an engineering base, so again, Root's playing very defensively here. He's going to get himself a missile turret. Things are going to look pretty good. Attempted... I mean, it's just not going to happen. I don't think there's enough... I don't know, maybe with the Banelings, but the Queen should be able to soak most of that up without too much of a problem. So I really don't see Startale being able to break through here. It's going to require a lot of work. They're probably better off trying the other ramp, and a Queen is going to die here. Banelings go off. They do a little bit of damage, and now the Hellions make their way in. Additional Lings on the way here, but Marsa does have some defensive units. There is a Spine Crawler up here, which is doing a good job. Hydra's building a bunch of Lings for defense as well. So far, no big damage to the economy, but there's the roasting. Hack gets a good shot off, second good shot. 7 drones killed right now. More Lings are on the way coming out here from Hydra. So they should be able to clean this up eventually, and bear in mind, of course, they have a stronger economy anyway, so they can maybe endure some of this, but I'm quite surprised they actually managed to break through. They dedicated quite a lot to it, and these are slowlings as well, off creep. So this is going to be a bit of a problem. There's the surround. He finally gets the cleanup. That's 15 workers killed, and another run by here by Startale, who do yet more damage. Viking is out. Banshee is on the way. Cloak is done. Missile turret is being built here. There's the scan. And interestingly enough, Hack's actually going to try and work away at this reactor. Maybe create a hole for the attack forces to come through here. So let's have a look at it right now. And you might think, well, that's a lot of damage done to Root. Yeah, but they had additional bases, so it's actually not that bad. And while the aggression continues here from Startale, they've been on one base the entire time, whereas Hydra's been on 2 bases, and Marsa has an additional command center. Another scan being used there by Marsa. Then he drops down and guns down those Hellions with great vengeance and furious anger. Yet more damage done, but still relatively equal economies, and in my opinion, more recovery potential here for Root, who now has a Spore Crawler up there. That's a great place for a Spore. That base is very difficult to attack now. And that's the end of the aggression for the time being. So, as far as I'm concerned, Root held onto that pretty well. I think the game is about equal now. Startale did perhaps enough damage to compensate for their 1-base opener, but not enough to cripple Root. And now, of course, we're going to have Hack expand and the Zerg player take the in-base here. And we're also going to have Marsa expand out as well. So nothing too unusual. Here comes the drop. Marsa's on the way. He's going to bypass all of these gates. He's going to go for a Hellion drop here. But that's going to get spotted by Hack on the way here. And there's the drop, and that's obviously not a good idea at all. Marsa will end up losing something if he attempts to drop there. So he's going back with his tail between his legs at the moment. Marsa lands and looks to try and intercept these Hellions that are attempting a run by on a base that really doesn't actually have any saturation yet, so there's nothing really too much to worry about there. And the game continues. This is usually where a 2v2 would end, but this is actually going to be a longer game by the looks of it. Tunneling Claw's coming out for Hydra. He's going to go for Tunneling Claw Roaches, which we don't really see a huge amount of, but on this map it should be pretty good, because there's 2 ways you can go in. It's hard to guard both, and in fact they're not even guarding that one. Marsa going for the Hellion drop. Roach is already available to intercept this, and a bit of damage being done here to the dropship. So that's going to be driven away. Everything looking pretty good here so far for both Startale and Root. Both, I mean, this is so equal if you look at it. 41 drones apiece, 35 to 32 workers. Now, Hack is going to be able to catch up, I would imagine. He's only slightly behind. He has 2 Banshees, bunch of Marines and Hellions moving out, so he's got a very aggressive force here. But I'm interested to see how exactly that's going to deal with a bunch of tunneling Roaches. Hydra is now working on a significant number of them. There are some Roaches also available for Pet here, so he's going to go for the attack. Marine's going to drive that Overseer away. But so far, we've reached a bit of an impasse in this game. These slow Roaches probably aren't going to get a huge amount done. We've got a couple of kills here from the drop, but nothing significant. And Hack was able to pull away nice and quickly there before taking too much damage. You see the lovely little carrier train we've got there? Yeah, it's a fantastic little feature of this map. So this drop is going to be a bit of a nuisance, but it's not actually doing any real damage. Now the army's moving out from Hydra. Now Hydra has tunneling Roaches, and as far as I'm aware, the Startale players have no idea. The thing is, Pet has a significantly larger number of Roaches. So what I'd like to see here from Hydra is he waits for the Startale players to move out, and Marsa attempts to defend with tanks, and then he does damage to the mineral lines. He tries to do crippling economic damage with his tunneling Roaches. That would work pretty well. Drops on the way back now, having achieved very little. As you can probably see, everything's pretty much equal on the economy side of things. And here come those tunneling Roaches, and he doesn't see them. Absolutely no idea what's going out here. The Terran player is going to move to be aggressive, but interestingly enough, Pet is actually playing defensively. And this has not been spotted as of yet. We get a little bit of a run in here. Marsa's drop gets completely shut down by Hack in the center. But here comes the Roach Harass. We got Roaches there. We got Roaches in this mineral line. He split up his Roaches really well. And this is going to be significant economic damage. The response time here from the Startale players, not particularly good. The Roaches were completely out of position. So far, we're looking at almost 15 workers killed here by these tunneling Roaches. There's only one Terran player. There is an Overseer here now, though, so these Roaches are going to get cleaned up. This mineral line has been decimated. So this is a nice little bit of harass here. In the meantime, Hydra's been able to build up a bunch more units, and a lot of units had to actually pull back here for Hack, who didn't really achieve too much. Roach is finally going to die, but if we look at the amount of damage done, that's 14 workers killed. That puts Root soundly ahead in terms of the economy. That was a really nice maneuver. Now, if we look at army size here, well, you've got... Pet's got a lot going for him. Hack's army is pretty small. He lost quite a bit. But here comes the Roach War, and they've both gone for tunneling, which is a very unusual situation. They're going to fight in the choke point here, and I think Pet has the slight lead, but there is support coming in here from Marsa. He's going to be able to drive this back, and the last thing you want is only one player going in at a time. Waiting for the rest. Hack's now going to move in. He stims his units in, and he's going to attack from the side. Decent number of Marauders here as well. Hydra will not be able to endure here. The tank gets destroyed, and suddenly Hack comes right back out of the gate with an excellent stim, does plenty more damage, tries to kill this dropship, gets it with that one Marine. Lovely micro. Great start to start here from the Startale player, and here comes yet another clash and engagement. Not a great angle here for the Startale players, though. Hydra with the great concave. Pet needs to pull back and actually dedicate to one side or another. He can't defend both flanks at this point. The aggression continues here. I don't think Startale's good enough to properly break this, though. There's a lot of roaches here for Hydra. I would not want to stick around here. These units are overstimmed, and there's only one medevac, and it's out of energy. If they come in from the side, Marsa comes in for the flank, tries to crush the remains of the roaches. This is not looking good for Startale. Great maneuver here by the Root players. Startale is driven back. And this is starting to look a little bit ugly for Startale. They've taken a couple of bad fights, their economy's taken damage, and suddenly Root is out of there. 13 more workers have been killed here. Marsa with the excellent drop does yet more damage to the economy of Startale. Startale down to 30 SCVs, 44 drones now, versus a superior economy. Hydra on 3 bases. Great concaves here with the tunneling roaches, and suddenly Pet is like, I don't have the units. Bro, bring in units right now. And he's suddenly losing yet more from this drop here. There's the stim. Pet is going to try and fight up the rank, but we're going to need to see reinforcements from Hack. The problem is he barely has any units. He's only got 5 Marauders, 27 Marines. He's got some medevacs moving, and he's got to do some damage right now. Again, a great concave by Hydra. Hack comes in for the reinforcements, however. Massa caught out of position. There's the stim. He did kill a base. He's going to be able to evacuate here, but he did take quite a lot of damage. 8 more drones killed. So still, Root with the economic lead. Things are looking pretty good here for Root, but I wouldn't underestimate Startale's army as of yet. They still have a lot of forces on the ground. Do they have enough to do the job? Well, that's questionable. I do like the medevac count here from Hack. That's very healthy, but Marsa has a superior medevac count. In fact, he has a superior Marine count as well, and 3 siege tanks. So just bear that one in mind. Doom Drop coming in here from Hack. And again, another Roach run by. Great moves here from Hydra. Takes out 7 workers, 8, 9, 10. That's almost game-ending damage here for Hack. He has taken a lot of punishment. The Doom Drop is on its way. It gets spotted here by Marsa, though. Hydra moving back to defend. In the meantime, Marsa pushing out on the offense. This drop is not going to get a lot done, I don't think. The Roaches managed to get on top of it before the drop actually gets down on the ground. And some Roaches will die, certainly, but the drop has been cleaned up. Uh-oh, here we go. Marsa with the stim. He's going to cancel his 3rd base. No way. There's the GG. And Root puts one down. Excellent 2v2 performance here from Marsa and Hydra. Absolutely fantastic. Impressive stuff. Really great start here. Startale got mauled economically. So I can't say I'm particularly surprised that it ended up going that way, but I think there were some opportunities there for Startale to maybe do a bit more damage than they did. Problem is, they weren't able to pull it off, and we got several great fights there from the Root players. Good effective drops, excellent Roach run-bys. Startale tried to go on the offense, but they didn't do game-ending damage with that one-base play. And that's the thing you've got to bear in mind. It looked good, but it wasn't good enough. It was only really good enough to equalize the game. It wasn't good enough to get it to the point where Startale has a significant economic lead going into the mid-game. And as a result, Root were able to come back and crush their opponents. I'm going to take a quick break, and Hydra will be in action once again. He's going into the 2v2 on the Korean server, taking on Daisy in, of course, a Zerg vs Protoss on our debuting map, Kilskada, which you have not yet seen before. Going to a break, folks. Thank you very much for watching SHOUTCraft Clan Wars. We will be right back after the break with the second map in this best-of-7 Pro League format. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Cliscada. This is our first outing on this particular map. It's a pretty short map, pretty small map, as you can probably tell. And playing for Team Startale in the northwest position, looking to equalize 1-1 here after losing the 2v2. In the red trunks playing Protoss, it is Daisy versus his opponent, the southeast position, the WCS Season 1 finalist for 2015. In the purple trunks playing Zerg, it is Roots Hydra. Hydra's looking better than he ever has, honestly. A lot of people wrote him off when he was playing Pro League as, yeah, he's a Kesper player, but he's not really getting the results. He's a bit cheesy, but what we've seen from Hydra in particular is a bit of a transition into the micro games lately, but we see very, very early gas here from Hydra. Interesting. It is a short map. It is a very small map, Cliscada. You can rush on it. It is absolutely possible to do that. Fairly standard natural, as you can see. Not particularly vulnerable to too much. A little bit vulnerable to siege from the back here. The third is a little bit of a faraway area. So this is something of a fast map. It's to be expected that we'll see aggressive play here from Hydra. Question is, will it be enough? Daisy has he's already started his SimCity. You notice how he's sort of created this partial wall off here? It depends how many buildings he's going to be able to get down. I don't think he's going to wall off. That seems fairly unlikely, but let's see whether or not he is mining gas. Yeah, so we're going to see early speed, most likely, from Hydra. Now, usually this is shut down quite nicely, and that is a wall off. As long as he gets his Zealot down there, Speedling shouldn't be able to do too much. We might see a Baneling bust, but it's pretty uncommon. You don't generally see that against Protoss. So there's the speed immediately. 2 Zerglings on the way. There's 4 and the Queen. No attempt to expand as of yet. This is going to get scouted pretty fast. The rush distance is not that large on this map. It's maybe larger than you might expect. Mostly because you actually have to go all the way around. You can't shoot all the way across here. There are plenty of things in the way. So you do have to make your way around the side here, but there are already Lings out in the way. They're probably going to catch that probe. We'll see how fast Daisy reacts to this. Ooh, good damage. The shield's already down here, and it's quite likely that, yeah, Daisy's not getting away with that. Lovely surround by Hydra. Fantastic interception. The scouting does happen, so Daisy has been made aware that he only just put down the hatchery, and there's a lot of Lings out already, so he's going to be saying, all right. So you went for speed first. I'm going to have to be a little bit careful. He is going for the Nexus. Once the Mothership Core is out, it should be fine. I don't see this Nexus getting cancelled. There's not enough Lings on the field for that to actually happen. The Mothership Core will be able to ward them away quite nicely. But Hydra with a little easy pickoff. Nothing to really worry about too much. But it's just going to be a little bit annoying. Going to try and deny some mining, maybe get into the base, but the Zealot wall-in should ensure that that does not happen. Down goes the Zergling. Mothership Core is just going to have a field day here. Yeah, we're not going to kill a pylon, I'm afraid. That's a... I don't know. I don't think a Hydra's micro is that good. He does have more Lings coming in, though, so he might actually get this pylon after all. With only 6 Lings, it wouldn't have been enough, but he brings in 10. And it looks like he's going to get the probe here as well. This is actually really nice. Not too bad for expenditure of, frankly, a very small number of Zerglings. And he supply blocks Daisy as a result, and it's a pretty heavy supply block, too. Sentry is out, but... outside of that, Hydra's been able to establish a 3rd base behind this, do a little bit of damage here and there. He's really just trading Lings. He gets another probe, looks to get the surround, realizes he doesn't have the numbers, he's going to run right into the Zealot wall, and if he's not careful, he doesn't want to lose all the Lings for nothing. But he's killed 2 probes, 3 total, and a pylon for the expenditure of about 5 or 6 Zerglings, which to me is an absolutely fine trade. That's a really nice trade, in fact. And finally, up goes the pylon. It is done, and it's about time that Hydra needs to get out of there. It doesn't want to lose the remaining Zerglings. Yeah, they're not that expensive, but don't want to lose too many. 3 more gateways on the way. And we're still sort of waiting to find out what Hydra's tech choice is going to be here. Is he still mining gas is the question. The answer is no, he's not. He is on 0 gas, so he's got no intention of going to the lair anytime soon. Looks like he's just going to go full-on macro mode from here. He's been a pain in the arse. He's delayed Daisy a little bit. He's slowed Daisy down. Is slowing a word? I don't think so. Not in that context. And we're going to see roaches. Hydra's going to stay, at least for the time being, on lair tech. On hatchery tech, in fact. He might go to lair, but that's going to severely limit the number of roaches he can get. Let's see how many gas he picks up. He picks up another gas that is natural, but he's got no other gas. Robo facility on the way. So if Daisy can figure out what's going on here, get an Immortal or 2 out, he should be absolutely fine. He's got a pylon over the side here, which sounds great in theory, and he's going to go for a Zealot warp in, but it's actually a bit of a run around to really get to where you want to go. There are back rocks, however. If we can work these back rocks without Hydra noticing, then that could work pretty well. Ling on the way out to scout here. Let's see if he spots that robo facility. Got more drones coming down. And we're going to see gas saved up for roaches by the looks of it. No, that's a lot of zealots. I wonder if Daisy... He looks like Daisy is going to try and break the back rocks. The creep is really close, but I don't know if it's close enough. And it's not. It's not close enough yet. He is moving an Overlord over there, though, so he is going to see it now. He will see the back rocks going down. The question is, how fast does he react, and does he have the units to react? He's got roaches on the way. He's got 6 roaches. 6 roaches with queen support should be fine, but that's a lot of zealots. Daisy's going for a 13 zealot rush into the natural expansion, but through the back rocks, even with 6 roaches. I don't know if he's got enough to defend this. He probably does. We've got the Mothership Core coming in here as well, which is going to be able to help out a great deal with a few time warps, and he has the recall available. There's a couple of Stalkers being warped in, and here is the hugely aggressive 2-base Protoss attack. There's an Immortal out as well, but I don't know where the hell it is. It's nowhere close. I think it's just back at base, and Zealots are moving in. There's the time warp. It's going to be able to do some damage. Is that going to be enough, though? The Zealots are being picked off at a rapid rate here. Roaches coming from the side as well, and suddenly it looks like this Protoss attack is by no means good enough. And there's the recall after accomplishing very little, really. That Zealot with a brave battle there takes down the back rocks, and of course he does have those pylons, but Hydra's going to clean them up. They might not see the backup pylon. It's possible they might not see the backup pylon. They get the probe here as well. And is Hydra going to see it? He actually does not. So there is a warp-in possibility later on. But let's be honest, that accomplished nothing. It slowed down the potential Roach attack. He is going to go for a mid-game Roach Hydra push, though, so he doesn't really care too much. The Protoss player lost a lot of Zealots, lost like 10 Zealots at least. I guess at least he only lost 1 Stalker, so it wasn't too bad, and he didn't lose anything really expensive like Immortals. Still hasn't found that pylon, interestingly enough. It's actually right off in the corner there. He's looking for it. He's like, hey, you have a backup pylon anywhere? I was like, yeah, he does, but I don't know where it is. Alright, well, nothing too insane as of yet. It's not like I'd say the Protoss player is definitely behind. Obviously, economically he is, but he is taking up pretty fast. He's adding on 3 more gateways, going for a Warp Prism, so it looks like he might attempt an Immortal drop, or he may instead choose to go Zealots once again. I would love to see him warp in some more units here, go for a run-by onto the natural, and then attack the main with a Warp Prism. I think that would be pretty effective. But we have a Roach Hydra composition being built up here by the Zerg player. There we go. These Stalkers finally decide to get out of each other's arses and kill the Overlord. A couple of Lings out here. They're not really all that threatening. They're just kind of sitting there looking for any kind of army move out, maybe a probe. And still, the Zerg player has not actually spotted that backup pylon. So just keep an eye on that. That could be a threat later on. Now, what is he going to do with the Warp Prism? That's the question that I've got. He loads it in 2 sentries only. That's an interesting move. You're not going to get too much done with 2 sentries. And unless he decides to go for a warp in... Oh, and that finally gets spotted, so maybe that's not going to happen. But what's he planning on doing with 2 sentries? Unless he's going for a warp in and he's going to go for yet another attack, which I don't think is going to work. There's already a Spine Crawler in position. There's a Spire being built. All the Hydralists have just come back, so this Warp Prism is actually under grave threat of just dying straight up. The Lings are going to see the Warp Prism moving in. So this is not going to do anything, I don't think. I'm just surprised he only loaded up 2 sentries. I mean, there's not enough damage to really kill anything with that. Here are the Hydras, and that is 1 dead Warp Prism. Lovely pick-off by Hydra. Absolutely aware of what's going on there. So far, everything Daisy's tried has really accomplished nothing. But he is building up this big 2-base Death Ball. And if he can get his Colossus count up high enough, there are no Corruptors on the field yet. There are a lot of Hydralisks and very few Roaches to buffer. The Ling's going to spot this move out. This is a powerful army here by Daisy, but the problem that Daisy's going to have is actually rebuilding that army. He's going for the Robo Bay with the extended Thermal Lance upgrade. He's going to add a 2nd Colossus to his army, and it looks like he's going to go for a 2-base Colossus push. He is going to expand out to a 3rd behind us. I do like that he's doing that. I don't like the fact that if he's stuck on just 2 bases, once this Death Ball dies, that's like it. That's all he's really got going for him. 10 Corruptors being built, though. Hydra is way on top of this. I am not liking the situation here for Daisy. I think the best thing Daisy could possibly do here, outside of maybe trying to do some Warp Prism harass on the 3rd, or maybe try and cancel the 4th base, is just stay defensive. I hope he doesn't push out. Yes, he has recall, but with that many Hydras, that Mothership Core's going to target fire down very fast. Hydra's been completely on top of target fire up to this point. Hydra's got a large army. He has a lot of Corruptors. I would play defensively. You know, at least you can play with a photon overcharge, maybe get some cannons up, try and hold that third. Looks like Hydra's going to attempt to cancel it, and he's going to run into a wall of hurt. That is a 3 Colossus army. And that might be able to hold Hydra back. But Hydra actually goes right down the center. This is a bad angle for Hydra. And he knows it. He doesn't want to be anywhere near that. The Hydralisk could have been completely obliterated there. He's going for the third. The third's going to be done by the time his attack comes in. So this is going to be photon overcharge. He's got to break down the rocks to get there anyway, which is going to take some time. Third's now done. Mothership Core's on full energy. I say Daisy's got a good shot of holding this. But look at the size of the Zerg army. It's almost maxed out. There goes the photon overcharge. Can Daisy hold? Probably has the numbers for it. His anti-air is terrible, though, so these Colossus are at grave risk. Lovely spread here by Hydra. The Colossus aren't doing the work here because these Hydralisks aren't that bunched up. All the Colossus are now dead. Hydra with a beautiful engagement. Absolutely phenomenal. That third is dead. The army of the Protoss player just got absolutely decimated. That was a lovely maneuver. There's always a big risk with a Hydra heavy force that you're just going to get melted by Colossus, but absolutely not this time around. And now the army's going to die. This looks like game here. Hydra playing an absolutely phenomenal game here. Daisy just has nowhere to go. Corruptors are just over there corrupting things just for the sake of doing it. And he doesn't have the units to hold on here. There's too many Hydralisks. Another Immortal goes down. Perhaps the last gasp effort of Daisy. 192 supply to 71. Hydra looking like the WCS finalist that he is. Daisy looking a little bit out of sorts. A failed early game attack, resulting in an economic lead for the Zerg player and a really strong Roach Hydra attack with a beautiful engagement on the third base. I mean, that engagement doesn't get any better than that as far as I'm concerned. And Daisy's going to try and hold on, but another Immortal falls. He gets the surround, and that, I think, is going to be that. More Zealots are coming in to try and hold, but it's not enough. GG, and Root goes up 2-0. An impressive display there by Hydra. Very impressive. Man, I mean, there's no complaints to be had about Hydra's performance there. Really, that is just absolutely phenomenal stuff. I'm not really surprised, let's be frank. Hydra is in the best form he's been in his life. And Daisy we haven't really seen a huge amount of lately. So Hydra was certainly the odds-on favorite going into that one, but it was just the domination on that third base. Just how much better an engagement Hydra got versus his Protoss opponent. And it's a shame. I think if we hadn't seen so many units sort of wasted early on, then we might have seen a better fight there from the Protoss player. But that run-by was just totally ineffective. He obviously knew the map. He saw the back rocks. He tried to break through, but everything was ready. As soon as the Protoss player showed up, there was a world of hurt ready for him right there. All right, folks. We are going back to the NA server for our next map. And it's going to be, I believe, another Terran versus Zerg. It's going to be Master taking on Curious. And they are going to be fighting on the map known as Peninsula, which is a very interesting map indeed. We'll be back after the break, folks. You are watching SHOUTCraft Clan Wars Season 2, brought to you by MLG TV. Don't go anywhere. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, next map coming in right here for you will be Startale Curious taking on Root's Marsa on Peninsula. What on earth is going on with this flickering? I haven't seen this before. Hopefully you guys aren't seeing that, but I am. Should stabilize, I hope. Otherwise, I have no bloody idea what's going on. We really don't need a light show right now. Or epileptic fits, preferably. Come on, mush mush. We'll load it in the map and see if... Whoa! Okay, hang on a minute. That is... Alright, there we go. Fixed. I have never seen that happen before. That is very unusual. Alright. Well, never mind. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Peninsula. It's my pleasure to bring you Root Marsa. He is in the blue trunks and he is playing Terran to the southwest of this particular map, which, as you can see, is a bit weird, versus his opponent to the northeast position in the red trunks playing Zerg, Startale Curious. Hybrid mineral patches. Yeah, all the timings on this map are completely messed up. And they're messed up even further by the fact that almost all, in fact, pretty much all the attack paths are walled off with minerals and a walkable egg. Now, the egg can be bypassed if, and only if, you use a worker. That can get through the egg. You can mineral walk through it, no problem at all. Anything else, though, can't make it. So, what we've seen before on this map is we saw a Zerg player. I believe it was Betrayus. If I recall. Was it Betrayus? No, I don't think it was Betrayus. It was somebody else entirely. But maybe it was Betrayus. One way or the other, they used a very early hatchery in this position right here, and then mined these away and then attacked. But with the hybrid mineral patches being in place, the income for every player is higher than it should be, meaning that all the timings are a complete and total mess. So we have no idea how this map is going to play out in the long-term metagame. We don't have a clue. It's pretty crazy. What I will say, though, is that the gas is mined at the usual rate. So while you might see mineral-heavy unit attacks, you are not going to see particularly faster teching. And that's something that players are going to run into. If they think they can get to tech faster, they're going to realize quite quickly that they're going to have to take a lot more gas a lot earlier than they usually do. Marsa's going to go with... Cancels the reactor. Goes straight into a Reaper instead. All right. Marsa looking for the expand. He'll probably need the Reaper to secure this, honestly. I'm going to go for 14cc. Yep. 14cc, except you've already built a barracks, and you've already built your supply depot, and you're already building a Reaper. Such is the way that this map can actually allow you to do. Usually that would be a little bit later. Okay, a lot of gas being mined here, so it looks like we're going to see early speed out from Curious. Not that early speed really helps you all that much on this map, as you probably noticed. The primary attack paths are... Ooh, that needs fixing. I don't know what the hell's going on with that. Looks like we managed to break part of the map here. That's an egg. That's not actually a white square. We need to get that fixed. That is an egg. You can mineral walk it. Marsa... Yeah, that doesn't work, I'm afraid, mate. You can't get through there. Marsa's going to have to try and find a way around. And there is a way around. It's just a very, very long way around. Attempts to get through there are going to fail. You can only mineral walk past there. There we go. And he's going to have we're going to have a nice little tour of the map here, courtesy of Marsa's Reaper. And you can see there is a way through. That needs... What the hell happened with that? That's a recent thing that just broke. We're going to have to check that out. It wasn't broken last time. And finally, Marsa is going to make his way into the base here. Link speed is halfway done. There's already a queen out. This shouldn't really do too much damage at all. So Curious is going to react to this. I should be able to push it away without any real problems. Lings are very slowly on their way across the map. And Marsa going for the factory, building out plenty of Marines. I'd like to see Marsa actually go with a more barracks-heavy approach here. This build from Marsa looks very much like it was designed for a map where half the mineral patches aren't gold. And bear in mind, you're earning like 7 every time you drop one of these in instead of 5. So there's a significant difference in the amount of income available. And neither of these players are spending it that effectively yet. I don't blame them at all, by the way, for that. Curious, you can't do that. Nope. Nope. Doesn't work. That's the main problem with the ground units. Getting through this is difficult. It's essentially a wall-off. And Curious is attempting to get through, and it's not going to work. What he is going to do is he's going to build this hatchery closer, and that's what he's going to need to do, because he needs to mine these minerals away. If he wants to attack via ground, that's the only way he's going to be able to do it. We are seeing more barracks coming in, but yeah, these guys are floating quite a lot of money, which again is to be expected. This is not the sort of map economy you're used to. As a pro gamer, you get used to having a certain number of patches that are earning a certain amount of money. And on this map, that is completely thrown out of whack. Some damage is going to be done here. I don't think he's going to get a drone. Unless Curious decides not to pull it away, which... He didn't, but he got away with it anyway, so it's all good. These Lings are still like, I don't even know what's going on here. I don't either. I don't know why that thing is whited out. It was working last time. We broke something, apparently. We're going to see all the tech coming out here from Marsa. Cloaking Field, Banshee, Siege Tank, Marine. I still think a barracks-heavy approach from Marsa would be better, or maybe just like a really big Hellion approach. You could go with a really nasty Hellbat push on this map, because you could just earn so much more. Get a couple of extra factories down, push with the abnormal number of Hellions, you've got yourself a really cool situation. Curious is taking this expansion. Now he's going to be able to mine these minerals out, and that means he'll be able to start making his way through by ground. Link speed is up, not that it's going to help. The Reaper is, of course, a huge help on this map. This is probably going to remind you of Arkanoid, if I recall correctly, was the name of the map. It was a very old Pro League map that had a lot of wall-offs, a lot of rocks walling everything off, and Reapers were king on that map, and that's the same here. We've got a Banshee on the way out here for Marsus, so he's going to be able to bypass this without too much of a problem. I would like to see Curious start to extend out here and start to mine these minerals away, so he's got some ground access. Because right now the Terran's gone pretty much unaccosted. We might see some airplay instead. Nice little interception. Curious actually very queen heavy. He's gone for all 6. And he has a nice amount of damage coming out there. Spore Crawler's almost done too, so this base is very safe. He shouldn't be at all worried about this. Admittedly, he's going to take a little bit of damage if he's not careful. The gold minerals are a little bit more vulnerable. I'd personally put the Spore Crawler maybe a little bit closer in. Almost kills the Banshee. Marsa with a great control here. And Marsa's going to attempt to move out. Here's the thing, though. Marsa actually hasn't mined this area out, so this isn't really going to do anything. I don't believe there's any collapsible rocks either, so I don't think there's actually a way through here unless you mine these minerals. So someone's going to have to do it. Right now... Oh, Macro Hatch coming down for Curious. He's getting... I mean, I like that a lot. Macro Hatch on this map is absolutely fantastic. I'm surprised we haven't seen more players do it yet. But, oh, he drops a mule! He drops a mule to make his way through. That's a lovely little maneuver, because, of course, the mule can actually mine pretty much all of it. And there we go. And now he's setting up a siege position. The Lings are moving in. Takes a couple of shots here. And Curious... A surprise attack here from the Terran player, and it's only Lings on the field right now. Banelings are moving in, but this base is under threat. There's the cloak. We're seeing some damage being done here, but a queen is already going down. Banelings are being focused down. Nice cancelled micro here by Curious. But this is a threat. This third base is looking like it's going to die. He's trying to take the spore out. Lings are now moving in. We've got tanks in position. Lings moving in, trying to get the engagement. No Baneling connections as of yet. Marsa looking good here. This is actually... I didn't necessarily expect Marsa to have the upper hand here, but this is looking like a great move. Marsa knowing exactly what he's doing. I thought maybe he hadn't looked at the map, but he evidently had. He dropped the mule to clear the barrier out, and the third base is now gone. Macro Hatch is still done. Bear in mind, Curious can still mine from these gold patches, so he's still got a lot of money. But losing that third base is a big blow. Down goes a Banshee. Nice pick off there by Curious. Tries to pick off a couple of additional units, and he does get them. And there's still a lot of units, though. There's still 4 tanks. Lovely transfuse there by Curious, saving that queen. More Banelings on the way. Baneling speed has only just started. He's got like 2 minutes to try and hold this. Lings moving in. Nice attack. And a Ling from the back. Lovely flank here by Curious. Cleans up all the tanks. Fantastic maneuver. Coming in from the side. And Marsa's actually going to attempt to build a wall here. He's going to try and make a defensive wall off. And it's going to work. He's got the units to fend this off without losing the tanks. Lovely maneuver. I'm liking that. And Marsa's going to set up a staging point that he can use to attack this position. If I was Curious, I would not be expanding there anymore. I'd be taking this base. I wouldn't take this base at all. This is... I don't think Curious really realizes. It looks like he's going to build a defensive wall-off and place tanks in that position. He can use that as a pivot point to attack from. I am really surprised that Curious is still trying to expand in that position. I think that position is under grave threat. Well, that's not going to do much. He's attacking the egg, but he can only attack with a single Ling, which is not going to do the job. He's going to have to mine through that. If he wants that flanking position, he's going to have to dedicate some drones to mining it. Either that or get a much, much stronger unit, because Lings, yeah, they can kill the egg, but it takes forever. He's somehow managed to bug his way past it. I think he's used push micro. I'm pretty sure he actually grouped all his units together and used push micro to get Lings around the other side, which is incredibly clever. This match is turning out to be absolutely fantastic between these two. Okay, Baneling speed is done, but this third base is still under grave threat. Got a couple of Banelings are going to try and move in and clean this out. This defensive line is set up here by Marsa. He's slowly making his way through here. If he gets that flank off, Marsa has no idea this is happening. So this is a fantastic move. Another bunker is being made. He's trying to expand this defensive line. We've still got a 2-base Zerg, but bear in mind it's a 2-base Zerg with gold minerals and a macro hack, so it's actually much stronger than it looks. And it's done. He kills it, he moves all the Lings in around, and he's going for the natural. The natural has very little defense. There's a lot of Lings coming in here, and suddenly, big surprise, Marsa thought this was the only way through. Curious finds another way in. Oh, if he comes around the back of those tanks, I would love to see that. He really needs to do that. If he can do that right now, he can break this entire defensive position. He's got a great position here, but if he loses all these Lings randomly to this Banshee, this is going to be a complete waste. He's expanding over the side here. I'd love to see a 2-pronged attack. And Curious is looking like he might try and do it. I think he's realized that, yeah, if he can pick off some of his opponent's reinforcements here, that would be great, but it's not going to be enough. And the tanks are now moving out to try and take that 4th base. And we're going to see an attempt here by the Zerg player to fight off creep once again against a huge siege tank line. This is going to be pretty brutal one way or the other. All the banelings are getting target fired down here. Tanks are going to die, though. There's a lot of lings and a great baneling detonation. He's able to kill it because all of Marsa's army wasn't there. We've got another stim in, though. The reinforcements are on the way. Tank count is down to 1, though. So Curious is in a much better position. He's got Mutalisks on the way now, and he's able to attack with 2-2 upgrades versus Marsa, who's only on 1-0. I like this upgrade-heavy approach. Marsa is way behind in terms of upgrades. He's going to be behind for the next couple of minutes. This is a great potential advantage here for the Zerg player. And now he has this area here, which can be used for run-bys. I'd actually like to see Marsa build like an engineering bay here to wall this off, because this is a vulnerable attack point. Oh, that Banshee is very, very dead. Lovely pick-off there by Curious. Oh, we got a game on our hands, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely. That's what I like to see. This has been a fantastic series up to this point. Both of these guys know what they're doing. Creeps being spread out pretty nicely. This central defensive position is probably not worth breaking through. I'd like to see Curious try and use his other attack path. And I think that Marsa realizes what's happening. He's going to pull back to the defense on the 3rd base. And this 3rd is going to get finished. It's going to take a long time, though. Bear in mind that the Zerg player has been on 2 bases for a while, so he's starting to mine out his main, and he really needs that expansion pretty badly. Whereas Marsa's is already established, and the income level for the Terran is ridiculous. He is completely outdoing his Zerg opponent right now. But does he have the production? He does. I mean, Master's not floating that much money at all. He's adding Thors into the mix. He has a huge advantage in terms of numbers here. I think Curious needs to somehow buy some time, do some economic damage. Although how he's going to manage that, I don't know. I mean, there's 2 turrets up here. He can maybe get the mutas in and do some damage from the back, but not much. And he's got to establish these bases, because he is way behind economically now. He's been running on like 45 drones for the longest time. And the Natural's almost mined out as well. He's going to be on 1 base very shortly. And what he's got going for him is an upgrade lead. But that upgrade lead is only going to last for another 2 minutes, give or take. Once that is resolved, there's a wall-off, but that wall-off's actually down. So this attack could work. A flank comes in. He wasn't ready for this. He's going to have to bring his army back, and some damage is absolutely going to be done here. Banelings are rolling in, but he doesn't seem like he wants to engage. I don't really blame him. He's not engaging into tank fire or anything, but it's just a nasty little position. Around come the Mutalisks to try and do more damage. They're not really able to do it. He's flying right back into those Marines. He's bringing the Banelings in. Kind of surprised that he's going for this fight, but the Banelings do get good connections. Very good connections, in fact, and that army gets crushed. That should not have happened. Marsa let that occur, and now the harassment coming in on the natural base is Curious fights back. Yeah, more Marines get taken out. The superior upgrade count helping a great deal here. The economy of the Terran player being damaged. In the meantime, a drop goes in. Down goes the medevac. Some drones are going to get killed here, but this base is pretty much mined out anyway. 18 workers killed already. This base just got gutted. Lovely move here by Curious with the equalizer. Curious now has the actual supply lead. Back and forth game. Great action coming on here between these two. 19 workers killed versus 4. Ineffective drop versus exceptional run by. Marsa eating Baneling hits. Great Mutalisk control here by Curious. Here comes another rollout, though. Army supply is actually slightly in favor of the Terran. He still has a good pivot point. I'm glad that Curious has given up on this base. This is clearly not the way to go. I'd like to see him expand up to the top instead. More Banes are on the way. Still 2-2 Lings. He's fighting before upgrades are done. This is not a good position for Marsa. He's going to get surrounded and crushed. He doesn't have the tank count. He tries to spread out. He's got this 1 tank in a bunker. He spreads out quite nicely, but this is easy pickings here for the Mutalisk control of Curious, who takes out a Marine, takes out another Marine, gets out of there without too much damage being done. I'm liking this upgrade for Marsa, though. If he gets to 2-2, then this is going to be a more interesting fight. They're very, very equal right now. Army supply slightly in favor of the Terran. Upgrades are about to be done. Thors are on the way. Of course, bear in mind his last Thor got picked off, and we're looking for yet another run by and actually a drop defense, which is going to get shut down completely. Lovely drop defense. No damage done here. Takes out the medevac as well, so that's an expensive investment here for Marsa, who is dropping somewhat in army supply, although not by much. Mutalisk count is looking really good for Curious at 21. I think he can dip in here and do damage. He could actually kill both those missile turrets without too much of a problem. I like the sensor tower here by Marsa. It actually covers this area here, so he's going to see the run by. In come the Mutalisks. 1 down. Looks for the second one. Gets the second missile turret, and that is 1 dead mineral line, and he gets the sensor tower as well. That's an expensive investment. Here's the drop. Marsa trying to pull his opponent apart and doing some damage. He's able to kill 5 workers, but of course he lost 6 of his own. There's the pickup. Mutalisk's been driven off for having lost a couple here. Thor's now moved into position. It's only one Thor, but there's a bunch of Marines backing it up with 2-2, so that's looking pretty good. Another drop comes in, gets surrounded. Plenty of damage done, though, on that one. In fact, look at how low economy this game is. 29 versus 33. In comes Curious again, does yet more damage. Drop is sitting there waiting to go in. He's going to try and take out the gas of his opponent. Maybe kill a queen as well, which again is pretty much vital. We have 2 bases up and running, although Curious has not saturated his top base. This is like the only base for Marsa, though. I'm really worried for Marsa right now. He is only on 1 base, and he's mining it out quickly because he muled it heavily. Most of the blue patches are already gone. He's got to expand again. Another drop comes in. Marsa doing yet more damage. There's the cleanup, though. Curious is surprisingly, like, low on supply. But, I don't know. His opponent has the army, but if he loses it, he has no way to replenish. And the longer Marsa waits, the worse this is going to get, because Curious is mining from 2 bases, which are pretty much full, whereas Marsa has almost mined out his only base. He's now moving a base out, and Curious could have actually blocked that. A little bit of a disappointment that he didn't do it. In comes yet another Mutalisk run by. It's going to pick off yet more workers, and they're completely undefended. The entire worker line is going to die here, and I think, yeah, Curious is going to be able to pull back quite nicely. This is looking really nice for Curious. This area is undefended. Uh-oh, that's the last mining base, and it's going to get decimated. Mutalisks are right on top of the worker line. They're going to do some significant damage here. And there's no drops either. He might lose the base! He brings the workers in for repair, brings in a few Marines. Will Curious commit to it? He's not going to commit, and I think that's probably the right move. Don't lose that many mutas, because your opponent has a huge army. Here comes the clash. Looks for the surround. He's moving all of the units around the side here. Sniping coming in from the side here as well. And Marsa eats some on the left flank, but the rest of his army was out of position. Lings move around, trying to get the flank, but I don't know about this. Curious is outnumbered here. He gets some good connections, but the Marauders buffet at the front, and Marsa gets the cleanup. Mutalisks continue to do significant damage, but that was a nice fight here for Marsa. Will he be able to do anything with it, though? I'd love to see him swing around and attack this base. I don't think Curious can defend it, but he's going to go right down the middle onto creep, which I don't necessarily think is a good idea. He's looking for it anyway, though. But what has the Zerg player got on the ground? Lings and a few Banes, not too much. That's 69 Marines and 11 Marauders, and they're about to have +3. Can Curious hold his natural here? There will be reinforcements coming in, of course. Mutas are flanking around the side again. Marsa is basically not mining. He just lost effectively all of his workers. This is all in now for Marsa. He's got nothing else. He's got to kill him right now. He has the army supply lead, but the longer he waits, the worse this is going to get. Can Curious hold on? I think Curious can afford to lose his natural if he can hold these 2 outlying bases and just build out from there and crush his opponent. What will happen is if Curious takes a bad fight and loses his army, then he's going to lose the game. So this is really down to Curious taking a good fight and taking a careful fight. He can't get his units picked off one at a time. Marsa's army is pretty much nothing but right now. Spore Crawler's going to go down. That base will die. Ling's coming in from the side, looking for connections. Nice positioning from Marsa, though, exploiting those small choke points. He's still fighting. Marsa still has an army. 33 Marines, 6 Marauders, and a Thor, and 5 Medevacs. Those Medevacs could have been picked off right there. He surrounds the Thor. The Thor's now dead. Baneling's now moving in, but a bad fight again for Curious. It looks like, however, Curious should be able to take this out. Yes, he lost his natural, but Marsa has no money. And there's the GG, and Startale put one on the board after an epic fight here on Peninsula. What a fantastic game by both players, and Startale picks up the win. That was awesome. Absolutely fantastic. Alright, we've got a clan war on our hands, folks, and it's not going to get any easier from here on in for either team. We're going to be moving into Legacy of the Void for our next map here. It's going to be Legend taking on Cats, the creative El Capitan of Root, taking on the best observer in the business in the form of Legend. It's going to be right after this break. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back here with SHOUTCraft Clan Wars. This is the current scoreline. We had some pretty devastating wins by Root in the early matches of this particular series, but Curious pulls it back for Startale, and now we have Legacy of the Void. We're going to be playing on Coda LE, and it's going to be Legend taking on Cats. I don't have any idea what to expect here. Legend, of course, is basically kind of the coach and is in a sort of managerial role over at Startale right now. And this needs to be switched over. Just give me one moment. There we go. And there we go. Lovely. Should have done that earlier. Sorry about the interface. Legacy of the Void currently does not support Game Heart, so I'm doing the best I can with it. Cats, Cats is going for the very, very early extractor. Of course, bear in mind, you do start with 12 workers this time around, so there's not a lot of time to chat. You get right into the game. There's the pool, going straight into that. 2 in gas, 3 in gas. There we go. So early speed coming out here from Cats by the looks of it. Of course, it could just be a straight-up roach rush. We just don't know. And here we are. Cats to the east position of Coda, playing Zerg for Team Root versus his opponent, Startale Legend, in the green trunks, playing Terran to the west. Now, bear in mind, you might be thinking, well, Legend doesn't play kind of on a pro level. Well, he actually plays really well, and we have seen Legend in the past in Clan Wars actually do surprisingly well against opponents we didn't think he'd be able to face up against. He almost beat Super on Fallen Dreams in Season 1, and Super, of course, is a fantastic Protoss player. Now, for Legacy of the Void, when you're not in a position where you're having to actively practice for matches in Heart of the Swarm, you've got a bit more time to prepare. So, Katz's Roach Rush. This could be a short game. We'll see. Whatever the case, Legend might be in a position to have actually practiced more of Legacy of the Void than his teammates are, so he's probably in a better spot. Reactor coming up here. Oh, no, that's not good. That is not good at all. He's going to expand as well. He's not scouting. I think this might be a very short Legacy of the Void match, folks. By the looks of it, we have Roaches and Ling Speed on the way. This is going to be a one-base all-in, by the looks of it, for Cats. And this is a Reactor expand here for the Terran player, which is not good. It's going to be a few Marines versus a bunch of Roaches. He needs Marauders, and he doesn't have any. He needs Bunkers, and he doesn't have any. Yeah, this could be over by the 6-minute mark, perhaps even before that. This is going to be brutal. It's going to be hard for Legend to hold it. Very hard. I mean, even if he just cancelled this CC immediately upon seeing the Roaches, he is still dealing with, well, Roaches that are on his main mineral line. 3 Roaches so far. Of course, he didn't have much gas to make any more. So far, this is going to be a bit of a poke. I wonder if, is Cat's actually going to build more drones? Surely he won't. He'll just, follow this up with Lings, right? So the idea is to run the Roaches across the map. It's going to take a bit of time for them to get there, and then the Lings are going to follow up with speed. So he's going to be able to follow this up with significant damage. Legend only has Marines to hold this right now. He might be able to get a Widow Mine if he's lucky, but that's going to be about it. He's certainly not going to have anything like a Cyclone by the time these Roaches hit. This base is going to have to... Thankfully, it's going to actually finish and is going to be able to lift it up. But he's going to have to cancel that orbital by the looks of it, and then Cats is just going to knock on the door. No bunkers. He's going to go for Ravage. It's a 3 Ravager Ling Rush. That's perfect, because Cats can now sort of bust this front with the Ravagers. Legend has no idea. Legend did not scout at all, and is going to be punished for that. 3 Ravager Ling Rush coming out here from the Zerg player. Legend was not in any way prepared for this whatsoever, and these Marines are going to die very, very fast. We're seeing a Cyclone being built. He's maybe going to kill one. He doesn't even kill one Ravager. Cat's lovely micro. Here comes the Bile attack. Lings are decimating the mineral line of Legend, and this is game. This is done in 3 minutes. Cats just completely decimates Legend. Not even close. GG. There you go. Well, sorry if you're expecting a long Legacy of the Void match. Apparently, Cats had other plans, and Legend had no idea what was happening. Really kind of Legend's fault, honestly, for not scouting that and not preparing for the possibility that Cats would try something really dangerous. But there you go. Apparently, in Legacy of the Void, you can win in 3 minutes, 45 seconds. Absolutely brutal. 3 Ravager Speedling all in on 1 base. Ouch. Okay, we're going to very quickly head back to our next map, which is going to be in the Korean server. It's going to be Kelzaher versus Pet, and they're going to be playing on Engines of War. Will Pet be able to bring it back here for Startale? We'll find out after a very short break. Ladies and gentlemen, whoa, don't know what the hell's causing that. I'm gonna have to look at that later. There we go, fixed. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Engines of War. War. To the northeast position in the Blue Trunks playing Zerg, Startale Pet, who is the last line of defense here between a 4-1 by their opponents to the southwest position. Hello, Kelzer, what are you doing? Going out very early here, probably to take control of the Draken Cannon, I imagine. In the red trunks, playing Terran, it's a Kelazher for Team Root. I'm going to consistently mangle his name. That's just going to happen. Welcome to Engines of War. This is, of course, famous for the Draken Cannon, which is right here. And it's going to be taken pretty much immediately, or not. Kelzer. Oh! Uh-oh! No! Pet's going to take it! Pet's taking the cannon! Kelzer didn't take the cannon! No! Kelzer! His plan completely destroyed in an instant. He attempts to go for a proxy barracks right next to the cannon, but doesn't take control of the cannon. Pet takes control and instantly destroys the barracks. Welcome to Engines of War, folks. Holy crap, what the hell just happened? Well, this map produces some crazy games, and we've already seen it start with some wildness. He didn't take control of the cannon. He wasn't close enough. The cannon, by the way, changes color depending on who is close by. So that was a disaster for Kelzer. Absolute disaster. Tries to go for the proxy barracks, gets blown the hell out immediately. Kelzer looks to try and take it, and the cannon is aiming, but he doesn't get the visibility. You do need to be able to see it. The SCV gets out of there just in time. And Pet is going to make sure to take control. Overlords can take control over this cannon, by the way, so bear that in mind. That might get changed in a future iteration. But such is the way of it. And now we see Kelzer way behind, and we see a 3-hatch play by Pet, because he knows he can get away with it. He's able to pull this off. He was able to grab the cannon, stop the build from Kelzer, and as a result, he's fine. He is absolutely fine. I mean, yes, there's a Reaper coming out that's going to be a bit annoying to deal with without a pool. But with good micro, he's not going to lose too much. Just a wild start here on Engines of War. Completely unexpected. Kelzer tries to take it. He's able to neutralize it. Bear that in mind. If you can get units next to it, you can neutralize the cannon, which is what's happening here. But you can't take control. And this thing, I think, can actually hit air. Oh, hello. He always had control of it there for a second and somehow lost it, but Pet's now moved his unit in as well. So we're going to see a bit of a battle here over the cannon. Man, if one of these guys grabs the cannon, then the other guy's worker is going to get blown to hell. So Kelzer needs to be careful about where... Uh-oh, he got it. Nope. You can't hold control of it if someone else's unit's there, but the Reaper's here. He's going to take control of the cannon. He's got it. The Overlord takes fire. There we go, and the Terran player now takes control of the center cannon and obliterates the Overlord. Nice moves there by Kelzer, using the Reaper to his advantage. But there's queens on the way, and Kelzer's wasted some time doing that, and as a result, there should be defense against this Reaper. And bear in mind, he's got visibility on this Overlord here as well. This Overlord is not going to get out of the range. The range of that cannon is ridiculous. Another Overlord goes down. So Kelzer managing to recover quite nicely here, although Pet does have a supply lead and he has 3 bases. So far, not a lot of damage done, though. Where's that queen? There is one queen on the map. It's not coming down, though. There's the queen out. Damage done is minimal. Zerg player still looking in a good position. You gotta watch out. If that Reaper has vision, he doesn't have range up here. Basically, the cannon will hit here. It won't go any further than this. So if Kelzer is able to get range, I'm a bit worried about this base. If Kelzer suddenly realizes, I don't think he knows there's a third. If he knew there was a third, he'd go down there, and then the queen would die to the cannon. That would be a lovely move there by Kelzer if he realized what was going on. But he doesn't. He has no idea. And bear in mind, so far, Kelzer has played this on 1 base against 3. So Pet has a big economic advantage going forward here. He now finally has this supply block there for Kelzer. It's going to slow him down a bit. Looks like he's going to go Banshee Hellion. Oh, man, if only you knew. He sees the creep there. If only he could move there and fire on it with the cannon. Kelzer, do it. Use the cannon to your advantage. You know you can. You have the range. The Zerg player isn't attempting to grab it. If he could take... Oh, Pet's got to be careful. He knows that cannon's going to be a problem. That Reaper's actually in an incredibly exploitable position. He's going to need to bring an Overlord there to shoot it down. Uh-oh. The Draken Cannon is aiming. The Draken Cannon is firing. It's firing on the hatchery. And the Queen just eats a huge shelling. Down that goes, and that third base is suddenly under a lot more threat than you thought. Very dangerous. You can't... I mean, Pet took a bit of a risk taking that. Has made no effort whatsoever to take the cannon back yet. That queen's going to take fire if he's not careful. And that third base has suddenly taken some damage. 6 workers killed. So far, the hatchery is not dead. And it's going to take a while. The cannon does hit pretty hard, but it will take a little bit of work to take that down. I wonder if Pet actually has any intention to try to stop it. I don't think he's going to. I think he's going to lose that base. The shelling... Hang on, did that hit the... I think that might have actually hit... Oh my god! The cannon just blew up half of Kelazur's army. Oh, and another shot goes off. Well, that cannon is a blessing and a curse, but the third base is dead, and Pet doesn't have speed yet, so... This is going to be very... Pet, he's going to try and take this. I don't think he's going to be able to. He's going in without speed. This is potentially disastrous. Oh my, oh my, oh my. Lings get taken out very easily, and yeah, Pet has a lot of workers, but he's got too many. He doesn't have any defensive units as of yet. Cannon's been taken by Pet to the southeast, so that's potentially going to do some damage. Kelazur has not killed his opponent yet, and Kelazur is on a cripplingly low amount of workers as well, so just bear that in mind. He's way behind these tech. He took a lot of damage early on, but this push is coming in. Oh, the shelling comes out. That's a big hit on the Overlord there. A nice surround. It looks like he's going to be able to get... No, he isn't able to get all the Hellbats. But he will be able to take them out here with the Spinecrawler Queen support by the looks of it. And there's the Transfuse. Nice little maneuver there by Pet. He's going to be able to hold this. Although the Banshee's going to be a problem for the next few seconds. The Pet, of course, needs to be very careful. This Banshee, if this spots this is going to do damage. Both cannons now taken here. Pet's taken both the top and bottom cannons. So Kelazur's going to have to watch out. If he moves into range of those cannons and into vision, he's going to get a nasty surprise. But right now, the push continues. Mutalisk's on the way here. He's managing to move those out. And a couple of Mutas moving in defensively, and his Banshees are going to take a lot of damage. Does need to watch out for cannon shelling, but he's out of range. Lovely cleanup here by Pet. And now he might go for the cannon. There's no visibility. The cannon's going to get taken here by the Zerg player. Pet fights over the cannon. Pet neutralizes the cannon before it fires. Nice moves. Although it is now neutralized and not taken. Now Pet moves in an Overlord to take control of the cannon. Pet's going to have all 3. And now the Mutalisks are moving in, and there's actually not that much defense. Gonna get a free SCV here. Nice moves. And now he's gonna get some freebies. Oh, he's gonna cancel Stim! He's looking to cancel Stim! The repair's coming in! It's gonna be too late! Stim is cancelled. Lovely moves there by Pet. Oh, absolutely fantastic moves by Pet. That is devastating. He isn't able to finish his barracks. He just lost the Stim. The Stim was a few seconds away from completion. He's going to lose gas as well. This is not anywhere near the defense that he needs. All 3 cannons are taken. Any attempt to move out here could be spotted by Overlords and sniped. Bear in mind, with drops, if the Overlord sees it, the cannon can fire at the drop ships. So for the Zerg to have control of all 3 cannons is potentially devastating. He's getting so many add-ons here. Pet is doing huge damage. Absolutely fantastic play here by Pet, who comes back from a scary position. Kelazur was looking like he had domination of the map, but suddenly the cannon flips around and Pet has full map control now. The most brutal form of map control. He can use changelings to provide him with vision, which will allow his cannons to fire on yet more. And Kelazur is taking huge damage. The Stim is now up, but he does have Marines and Vikings, so Pet is going to have to back off here. Burrow being brought into play here by Pet, who's now going to take a 4th base. And why shouldn't he? He has a cannon that can defend his 4th base. This is a really safe position for him. If he can hold this cannon, then any attack on the 4th base is going to be neutralized. My oh my. Pet moving in. Wants to do more damage. He's going to stop that. He wants to take that add-on, but the Marines are now in a defensive position, so it's not likely he's going to be able to move this. But think of all the economy he's getting behind this. A 4th base, control of all 3 cannons. He's got changelings in position. If Kelazur attempts to move out, he's going to get shelled by the cannons. It's going to be very hard to take that back. He kills another supply depot for free. The Terran player is just stuck on 2 bases in a major way here. Pet's looking good. Looking very good. Startale looking good. We might see an ace match. We're at least going to see a 4-2 if this continues the way that it is. I'm trying to think of a way for Kelazur to get out of this. I think it would be drop play, but he'd have to be very careful with it. If he sends a drop out directly to the southeast position, he can take control of the Draken cannon, and then if he gets vision on the 4th, he can aim the Draken cannon at his opponent's 4th base. But with this many Mutalisks around, it's going to be very difficult for Kelazur to get a drop into play. combat shield is only just finishing. Stim isn't even done. There's another minute on it yet. And this is starting to mine out, as you can see. They're down to less than half on many of these mineral patches here on Engines of War. And Pet has... I mean, there's map control, and then there's Engines of War map control. And this is Engines of War map control. This is... I have all 3 cannons. If you even attempt to leave your base, you're going to get hit hard. Now, of course, it is possible to avoid that. If you send... The best way to deal with the cannon is it's on a 6-second cooldown. The best way to deal with it is to send out 1 Marine at a time. Kelazar needs to watch out, because if he bunches everything up, he's going to take huge damage. Nice hit. A lot of Widowmine damage being done here. Pet's going to have to back off. But Kelazar's thinking to himself, how the hell do I even do this? He's going to move out now. But there's a Burrowed Ling. Pet's going to use the Burrowed Ling to aim the cannon. He's moving out. The cannon's aiming. Boom! Down goes a medevac. He has no idea how he has vision. Another medevac gets shot out of the sky. Love Pet is so smart. Big hits coming in here. Kelazar is in a dangerous position if he keeps taking fire like this. Look at the Overlord spread from Pet. He's got vision everywhere. The cannons are going to provide him with huge amounts of visibility. He has no idea about that Burrowed Ling. It's the Burrowed Ling that's causing the vision to happen. Cannon fires again. Bear in mind, it doesn't have a lot of AoE. It's only a small amount of AoE on this cannon. It's best for taking out large units, but it takes out medevacs very effectively. In come the Lings. In come the Banelings. Kelazar's attempt to take that cannon is going to be thwarted here by the looks of it. Lots of units coming across the map and crushing what remains of Kelazar's army. And the cannon continues to fire just to make matters even bloody worse. Actually, the cannon's gone neutral. Pet needs to take it back. In come the Banelings. The Widowmine is in position, though. Great spread there by Kelazar. Takes minimal damage. Scan comes out. He sees, okay, opponent's got that. Pet losing a few mutas here, but huge advantage for Pet. The Ling still hasn't been cleaned up either. Another big shelling comes in. He has no idea where the vision is. Such a smart move. Big bang. There we go. And yet more of his army is crushed. It looks like Pet's going to take this safely. Pet understood this map very well. Played it exceptionally well. The Draken Cannon continues to shell what remains of Kelazar's army. And he's morphing in Banelings right in Kelazar's face because he knows his opponent can't do anything. Kelazar's looking for upgrades here. It's not going to be enough. Startale is catching up. They're still on match point. Root could still take this. And the next map is going to be between Hack and Solo on Sun Cross. We're going to be seeing that right after the break, folks. Don't go anywhere. You're watching SHOUTCraft Season 2 right here on MLG TV. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Sun Cross, and it's my pleasure to bring you Startale Hack. He is in the blue trunks, and he is playing Terran to the west versus his opponent to the east position. In the pink trunks, playing Zerg, it is Root Solo. Alright, I wonder if Root Solo brought Chewie along with him, because he might need him. Hack is a good player, Hack is a scary player, and Solo, of course, is relatively inexperienced in comparison to some of the other guys on the Root lineup. So this is going to be a bit of a tricky matchup for him. This is one of our more traditional maps as well, which usually means the Koreans have a better shot at it. Although considering what Pet just did on Engines of War, I have a feeling that our traditional opinion may very well now be wrong. The map is pretty standard for the most part. You've got a lot of bridges in the center here. If you attempt to expand out, you can kind of expand around the side of the map, or you can attempt to take closer bases on the inside, but they're all kind of vulnerable to attack here. There's also 3 different positions your opponent could potentially spawn in, so Solo is going to have a look around. He's scouting quite early here. I wonder what he plans on doing. Looks like he's going to take a hatchery right now with this, but he's sending out that scouting drone because he wants to be absolutely sure where his opponent is. This is a big map. There's a lot of potential here for getting bamboozled. It's the last thing you want. It looks like Hack's just going to go for a very standard Reaper opening by the looks of it. Nothing too out of the ordinary here for Hack. But will Solo be able to take on a player of Hack's caliber? Hack is very, very good. But it is quite late over there in Korea, so it is worth bearing that in mind. It's always worth noting just how late it is that Startale's playing. I mean, they're playing in the middle of the night at this point. And they signed up for it, don't worry. I didn't force them to play in the middle of the night. They could have signed up for stuff that was at a better time, and indeed they have Axiom later on this month at around 8 p.m. Eastern, which is 9 a.m. in Korea, which is a much better time for them. But they decided to sign up for this one. They wanted to play, and as a result, they're getting to play. But they're having to play in the middle of the night against a well-prepared Root, who almost has it. Kelazur could have put it away, and he might have. Just think about how that would have gone if Kelazur had actually taken the cannon and not messed up by not moving close enough. If he'd taken the cannon, that could have been an entirely different game. I think Pet only went for the 3-hatch play because he knew that his opponent was not able to take that cannon and was not able to pull off the build that he was looking to pull off. That slowed his opponent down a lot. So he was able to get super greedy. And as a result, Kelazur got stuck on 2 bases. Alright, well, Hack's got a Reaper out. He's going for a second Reaper as well. And of course, that's a bit of a risk when you go for the Drone Scout, is that if your opponent goes for a Reaper, then that drone is probably dead. So a lot of Zerg players are electing not to even Drone Scout, assuming a Reaper's going to come, and then just get a Queen out and just defend as best you can, because otherwise it's just a dead... I mean, you know, it's a dead drone. And the fact of the matter is that drone got some scouting information, but not a lot. He did see at the front, he didn't see the add-on being added on, he didn't see the factory, and he didn't see the command center. So that's only limited information here for our Zerg player. So perhaps the scout wasn't maybe the best of ideas. And now we've got a couple of Reapers moving in. They're going to be a bit of a pain. Probably not going to be able to do too much, but if he spends enough time, he's going to be able to work away at these queens. He's going to just be a giant pain in the arse. There's 4 queens coming out here from Solo. He might be able to get a ling or 2, but this is a very narrow choke. Unless he decides to jump over here into the main base, he's not going to be able to get too much done. Whoa, 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 Solo. He's going for his gas on his natural here. Okay, interesting. Maybe a fairly smart idea considering the Reapers are moving into the main. He wants to try and hide that gas, and he knows that his opponent's not going to be able to get to his natural, so it makes sense to build them there instead of building them in the main base. Nice control so far from Hack. Playing a little bit in, out with these Reapers. Going to see a starport on the way, and that looks to be potentially Banshee. We're going to see maybe Hellbat Banshee as a possibility, or just straight up Hellion Banshee. So far, of course, the Zerg player is only on 2 bases, and the Terran player is on 2 as well, and is actually up and mining. So this is the kind of time where the Zerg's going to want to take a third, and that's exactly what he does. But can he deal with the potential harassment? Now, as a Zerg player, I'd be pretty damn happy with this setup. I mean, if you look at it, this is a very easily defensible natural. You've got a very narrow choke. You can spread creep very easily. You can wall off with like 3 buildings, which you generally don't get the luxury to do anymore. There's the scout. He sees that. So the Banshee's going to be a bit of a threat to this base. We've got a 3rd base again coming down here for the Terran player as well. He's probably going to use Banshee to try and harass this area. He's not going to be able to cancel it. The Banshee's not going to be there in time by the looks of it. But I mean, if I was a Zerg player, I'd be pretty damn happy with this choke point. It's good. It's a nice setup. And he even has chokes up into the main base as well as up into the 3rd. So even if Hellions do run by, you can actually wall off here. So this is a nice defensive Zerg map. Good for Terran as well, of course. If they want to create a wall off, it's a lot faster for them as well. Up to this point, we don't actually see that happening yet, but it's always worth noting. Alright, Hack's going to have a look around, see what he can see. He knows that he can stop anything from coming out. It looks like we're going to see Hellbat Banshee here, which is a nice brute force approach to try and hammer through here. With Banshee and Marauder support, he may be able to break this, but this wall-off is going to be a little bit difficult to penetrate, certainly. Admittedly, Solo's going to want to try and hold that wall-off as best as he can, and that means he's going to have to face off against Hellbats. But look at the creep spread. This is all going to be seen. He's moved on to the creep now. Solo's ready for it, I think. He's got a decent amount of roaches coming in. Some damage is going to be done here, certainly, but I don't see this breaking Solo unless Solo makes a distinctly bad move in terms of his defense. Reaper now moving in. There's the Hellbat transformation, and here we go. And Solo is elected to back off. He's not going to try and hold that, and I don't blame him. He wants to try and get us around. Oh, lovely moves here by Hack. He gets a great shot off, but great double transfuse here by Solo. So far, the Roaches are holding, but the Banshees are moving in as well. Looks like Banshee is staying alive, not being focused down, but Solo is holding this quite nicely. Hack's engagement not looking too good. Finally able to break his way through, but at what cost? The Banshee almost dies. It looks like we might see a dead queen here, but he is on creep. And he is managing to make his way to the mineral line. If he gets up a couple more shots, this will be worth it. But it looks like the drones are going to get away. Roach moves in defensively. The Banshee is long gone now. And he doesn't get anything out of this. I'd say that Solo held that beautifully. That was not a great engagement by Hack whatsoever. Really no drones killed. He got like a queen or two. And Solo now has a bunch of roaches moving up against a marauder and 4 marines. And there's no bunker. Hack might actually lose here. And that would be a huge upset. I don't think most people will be expecting Hack to lose to Solo. But so far, Solo has been playing this immaculately well. And Hack's engagement, Hack's hellbat push didn't really do anything. Nice attempt to open up the third. I like that. He's going to deny the third base going down here from Hack. I don't think Hack's got the units to defend it. He does have some tanks coming in. So it's like, yes, Hack can probably hold his natural, but I don't think he can hold his third. And here are the Lings. They say, hello. We know you're here. We broke our way through, and we're not going to let you put that base down. And we know that you don't have enough units to stop us, so don't even bloody well try. And even Solo now has the high ground advantage. He can pull back to the high ground whenever he feels like it. He can even snipe off these supply depots. And he goes for the engagement. Solo thinks he's got this. And he might be right. We're going to have to see SCVs come off the mineral line here, I think. We've got Banelings morphing right in the center. Lots of roaches. The tanks are now in position, though. So Solo may be getting a little bit impetuous. Hasn't done any economic damage. He even allowed the third base to actually go down. And the Marauders are now in play. And Solo's actually losing these units very, very rapidly. Great micro here by Hack. He loses no Marauders whatsoever. Fantastic defense. And Solo got a little bit too impetuous there. He said he saw the win. He smelled blood in the water. He went for it, but he sacrificed a lot of roaches. And Hack was able to defend. He got his tanks in position. Now, of course, the third base is under threat, but there's a Marauder force moving out to be able to intercept. He's got to watch out for the Lings, though. Lings are coming in for a surround. Tank support is coming in as well. Bear in mind, Solo has not run out of units. The tanks are up, however. One tank's going to die. The second tank holds. Thanks to the medevac visibility up onto the high ground, but there's more units coming in. Solo continues to get aggressive. He's building nothing but units. He has a good number of upgrades as well. He has an upgrade lead over his opponent here with the armor upgrade, with that melee upgrade. Good shelling from the tanks, though. Hack's able to hold. Nice classic defensive Terran style. And so far, Hack's economy remains untouched, and that's the most important thing about this. Hack actually has an economic lead now. He crushes the remains of the roaches. Now he's ahead. Solo with maybe a little bit of a rookie mistake there. Little bit too greedy. Just a little bit. I don't blame him. Like, he defended really well. He had maybe an opportunity, but I would have settled for holding the third, personally. I wouldn't have gone and attacked the natural. That was a little bit too much. I think he thought that that Hack had fewer units than he actually did. He didn't know about the tanks, and suddenly Hack is now streaming across the map with Marines, with Marauders, with a significant tank force of 5. And there are some Mutalisks coming out, but there's not enough. There's 18 Marines versus like 9 Mutas. This is looking good for our Terran player, who now breaks the rocks and says, alright, time to return the bloody favor, mate. You attack me through the third, I attack you through the third. The shelling begins. Hack can always pull back to this defensive position to avoid these Banelings. They do have speed. Solo does still have those upgrades. Great surround there by Solo, but he's taking heavy shelling. All the Marines are getting crushed, though, and Solo jumps right on top of the tanks. Lovely move. Suddenly, Hack's army not looking anywhere near as scary. Solo with a great defensive play. This is a back-and-forth game for the ages. Oh my, oh my. Alright, well. This is surprising, certainly, to see. I think for both sides, really. We're seeing Hack with a few slip-ups, although with some excellent defense. Like, his offense is looking weak, but his defense is looking fantastic. Now Solo makes his way into the mineral line, and that turret is not going to live. Oh, maybe it is! He actually is able to hold it. Baneling's moving in. Good splits here by Hack. Are they good enough? They're pretty good, but that's a lot of Banes. That's a lot of Banes. And there's a lot of Mutas jumping on top of this as well. Hack still has the units streaming out, though. Bear that in mind. This is not enough to crush Hack's army. Hack's able to repulse it for the time being. Again, he saves his mineral line. Perhaps the most critical thing. If a Baneling run by and hit that mineral line, this would be a different game entirely. But the Zerg is still on 3 bases versus a 3-base Terran, and the Terran has the economic lead. So the Terran can successfully replenish his army, whereas the Zerg player is bleeding off units here and there, which are difficult to replace. He's down to 4 Mutas. He's sinking a lot of gas to try and get his Mutalisk count back up. Wants to try and get enough to make sure he can defend against drops, but this is a difficult game for him. Hack moves out with another strong force. Hack now is catching up on upgrades, which is absolutely crucial. Needs to make sure he gets that 2-2 out to deal with those mutas. Right now, the Banelings are 2-1. The Lings are 2-1 as well. Hack's looking good. Cancels out a few Banelings here. Gets a good shelling off with the Thor backing him up as well. And he's got a tank to back him up here too. It's only one, but it's great for target firing down Banelings. And he gets these ones as well, just as they morph in. Now, what's Hack going to do? Is Hack going to attempt to contain? It would be nice if Hack actually scouted around, because Solo has expanded to the right, to the left. Just away from Hack, essentially. And Hack doesn't know about it yet. Good shelling once again. Mutalisks take yet more damage. Those Mutalisks are badly damaged. There's 24 Banes, though. This Hack's going to have to split really well. I mean, even with that size of army, that's a lot of Banelings. But the shelling goes off. Most of the Banelings are actually caught in the tank fire. Unbelievable splitting by Hack. Absolutely fantastic. Solo is down in supply. We're going to see an ace match, ladies and gentlemen, as he powers through a great Baneling detonation, but it's not enough. GG, and the ace match is going to happen. What a series from Startale and Root. What a fantastic series. Delicious. Delicious. Well, what more is there to say? We're going to be back after the break, folks, with the ace match. Oh, and you know what that means, kids. At least I hope you do. If you don't, the ace is on Crazy Clash. What a great way to end a fantastic clan war. They got 5 minutes to choose their ace player. We're going to be playing on the Korean server. We'll be right back after the break. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to SHOUTCraft Clan Wars. This is what's been happening over the last hour and a bit. It's been a pretty brutal clan war one way or the other. And it almost went to Root. It almost did. And slowly but surely, Startale pulled it back from a 3-1 position. And now we're at the ace match. And it's going to be on Crazy Clash. And it's going to be a Zerg versus Zerg. We're going to have Pet taking on Hydra. We've seen his EBZ on this map before. It was very, very short. But that was also because Prime's Zerg player, Terra, flew his Overlord right into a neutral missile turret, which basically ended the game for him. He was forced into an all-in after losing his starting Overlord, which should have never happened, but it was a mistake that he did make. So his EVZ on this map could be interesting. There are plenty of features that make this map a little bit unusual. There's a gold base with 4 gases. There's a line of sight blocking forest. There's a healing shrine that you can take down to the southeast position. And there are huge amounts of neutral missile turrets, which you do need to watch out for. At the moment, we're just trying to get Pet into the lobby. I think we're getting the lobby bug. So we're just going to try and fix that. And once we fix that, that'll be great. Which will give me a bit of time to tell you about more clan wars that are coming your way. We actually have 2 more this weekend. So if you had nothing better to do with your time, then don't worry, I've got you covered. We have 2 more clan wars this weekend. The first clan war will be on Saturday. And it is going to be between evil geniuses. And yes, they do have enough players. So you're going to be seeing In Control busting it out, I believe, at Legacy of the Void, actually. If I recall correctly. No, he's actually been playing on Emerald Plaza. The Legacy of the Void match is actually first. That's Ruff versus Jadong. Holy crap, that's going to be a really interesting fight. I have no idea how that's going to work out, because Ruff is very creative, and Jadong, I don't know how much practice he's had on Legacy of the Void, but Saturday, April the 18th at 2 p.m. Eastern, that's the same time as it was today. You can check out the Team Liquid thread, which will automatically adjust for your local time. EG versus Ascension. So Ascension, one of the newer teams in America, versus EG, one of the veterans. And then Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern, that's the later time, Axiom versus Startale is going to be happening. That's going to be really interesting. I don't know how that's going to go. I'm going to be honest, you know, as the owner of Axiom, Axiom pretty much lost every clan war last season. They did not win. They came close, but they didn't win. So Axiom needs to bucket the hell up. Admittedly, we're also bringing along TCM. Axiom is allied with TCM and will be playing Soulkey. Soulkey's actually going to be facing off against Pet on Peninsula on the Sunday matchup, so please do tune in for that. If you're afraid of missing any clan wars, click the follow button on MLG's page, and it will email you automatically, as well as activate the MLG app when we're ready to go. All right, folks, let's rock and roll. The countdown has begun. This is the ace match. Startale Pet versus Root Hydra will determine who walks home $400 richer and who walks home with a mere $100 for losing. We're about to find out. Here we go. Crazy clash, ladies and gentlemen. This man who's put away 2 for Root already, can he make it a third? To the north position in the purple trunks are playing Zerg, the WCS World finalist, Root Hydra, versus his opponent to the west position of Crazy Clash. In the red trunks, playing Zerg, Startale Pet. And hell, I gotta say, if anyone seems to understand the unique mechanics of these maps, it's Pet. He did a phenomenal job on Engines of War, completely shutting down all of Kelazur's aggression. Now, there's all sorts of wacky, wild things that you can do on this map. For instance, you can destroy the bridge controls, which will give you early access to a gold base, but simultaneously open up an additional attack path. So it's a risk-reward situation. Do you destroy the bridge and gain access to that gold, thereby bypassing the missile towers? There's no way to get there by air. It's impossible. The only way to get there is by ground. All of these neutral missile turrets, also known as the Slayer of Bad Rallied Overlords, are going to shoot with impunity at whoever they so desire. Anyone that goes over there with air dies. It's that simple. So we have bridges there. We've got bridges here as well with bridge control units that are actually air, but this one's actually far away, so you can kill it with tanks, you can kill it with air. This will give you a quick attack path to your opponent. Alternatively, you can, of course, take the longer route, which takes you all the way around here. Yes, indeed. The line of sight blocking forest, and in the center, a healing shrine. This will, with impunity, heal any unit for, I believe, 10 HP a second that stands in the area around the healing shrine. And, of course, what is the bottom? The ultimate prize, the 4-gas gold base. We've seen a player try and take this before, and he almost made it. He did a 2-base muta play with 6 gas because of this base, and he almost got away with it, but unfortunately, his opponent spotted it. So close, yet so far. So I am very interested to see if any of these features become a factor in this map. I am intrigued. I would love to know. What we're seeing so far from both players is a hatchery first, followed by a spawning pool. Very standard. Gas being taken by one, but not the other. Hydra's going to go for speed. I like speed on this map. The reason being the rush distance is deceptively long. You might think, oh, it's nice and short. Nope. Those bridges, they are nice and short. But that's only if you establish the bridges. And Zerg players have no way of doing that early on. They have to get Mutalisks to destroy this. They just don't have the range otherwise. So these bridges, unless the game goes for longer than 15 minutes, this area becomes basically uncontested. There's no play that happens around here. Alternatively, we could, of course, see them running around the side here, which is the most common attack path. But it's an easy defense. Some fairly easy ramps to defend. That's not a hard ramp to defend. It can happen. Oh, the bridge just went down. Pet decided to destroy it. Pet has opened the bridge for both sides now. And Hydra is making his way across, and Hydra's going to steal the goal. It looks like both players actually went for the bridge controls at the same time. And Hydra just went and stole the gold base. But there's direct access now available for at least one player, as you can see. There's a second bridge control unit that must be destroyed. But if Pet can destroy this bridge, he can actually access this base directly. Does he know, though? Well, he's got to know. He sees. He sees that both of these bridge units have been eliminated. So he knows his opponent is going for this. The question is, does he have a way to stop him? In the meantime, Hydra's going to attack. Couple of evolution chambers coming down. That's a nice block. He's going to take... No, almost took out the drone. And we're going to see a little bit of tit-for-tat here. Not enough from Hydra, I think, to actually get any kills. He might get a queen, though. And he does. Lovely pickoff. And now he says, all right, I got the queen. That's cool. Let's go for the main. Do some damage. Gets another surround. Lovely move. And Pet is not able to get there fast enough. A second queen eliminated. Hydra looking good right now. Very good. And Pet not quite up to scratch as of yet. They're still equal on lava, but bear in mind that Pet's down to 1 queen as opposed to 2 here for Hydra. And Hydra has stolen the gold base. And Pet's got to know about it. He definitely knows now. Hi, what are you doing? Yep, the gold base has been taken. So what does Pet do? Well, Pet can actually break the second bridge control, and then he can make his way across. He's going to attack the bridge controls, and that's going to open an attack path for him. Off goes the bridge control, and the bridge will now extend. So he can now send a flood of slow Zerglings all the way across the map to attack the gold. And there's no spine up yet. Hydra wasn't ready with the defense. He didn't expect this. And this is going to do some damage, no doubt about that. Nice micro here by Hydra is going to save as many drones as possible. There's a cancellation here, and the reinforcing lings are coming in. Pet has a slight advantage in numbers, but not in terms of speed. And Pet's going to go for a big roach push. There are some roaches coming out here for Hydra, but nowhere near as many. Nice fight on the bridge here. Neutralize the speed. Great moves here from Pet, and he has the numbers. The roaches are reinforcing now. The gold base was something of a gamble, certainly. He's killing the slayers of badly rallied overlords. He wants to kill the turrets on his side so that he can bring an overseer across. Nice moves here so far by Pet. And in comes the aggression. Lots of roaches are going to come down here. Well, we're going to see a good surround here by Hydra. Pet fights on the bridge, though. This is looking good. He loses his Zerglings, but he has plenty of roaches. There are roaches being built here, though. Uh-oh. Hydra loses an overlord. That's not good. Damage is being done. I don't think he can kill it, but he's got it. Maybe he can. Maybe he can kill the gold base. He wants to go for the queen. He's going to dive on top of this position. He thinks he's got the numbers, and he's right. He does have the numbers. Pet is 13, 15 roaches now. There are 13 available here for Hydra, but they're not there. They're here. He went on attack move. He attacked the Slayer of badly rallied overlords. More units coming in, but Pet still has the numbers lead. Bringing in yet more reinforcements. Can Pet actually make this happen? More reinforcements moving across the bridge here. Very, very even numbers here. Now slight advantage here for Pet. Pet pushes away. Tries to take this gold. He wants this gold so very badly. Lings are going to pop right on top of these roaches. They'll do some damage, certainly. No doubt about that. In the meantime, Pet takes a ninja gold. All the way down here, it's a single gas gold base. He thinks he can take it, and he's probably right. He pushes his opponent away. Now he tries to take the hatchery out. Can he get it? 300 HP and falling. Hydra moves desperately, and there's no way. He doesn't have the numbers. A roach spawns and is immediately picked off. That's going to die. Hydra's base is on 160 HP. Pet pushes across the map here. And that's it. That base is going to die. Hydra GG's. Startale takes it. 4 games to 3. A risky play by Root, and it's not enough. GG for Startale, who fought really hard to win that one. And the Ninja Gold base, it was spotted, it was eliminated. He just didn't quite have the defense to hold that off. And Pet taking that 3rd gold in the center, that, as they say, was that. Startale picks up the win. A hard-fought 4 games to 3 here in SHOUTCraft Clan Wars Season 2. What a fantastic series. Best one so far of the season, no doubt about that. Congratulations to both teams. They played their hearts out today. Absolutely fantastic. But Pet looks like he knows these maps a bit better. Just a little bit better than the Root guys. But I expect Root to play very well in the next one, of course. They played well here. I mean, no doubt about that. Hydra picking up 2 of the wins there. Cats, of course, picking up the Legacy of the Void win in about 3 minutes. But Startale was able to claw their way back, slowly but surely. Congratulations to them. Great play. All right. That, as they say, is that, folks. 4 games to 3 win for Startale in the hardest fought series up to this point. They pick up the ace match, and this is, of course, the final tally of scores, as you can see right there. Oh my. That was a damn cool series, frankly. That was a damn cool series indeed. Very, very happy with how that went. And we've got 2 more. Saturday, April the 18th, 2 p.m. Eastern, same time as today. Evil Geniuses versus Team Ascension. We've got Ruff taking on Jadong in Legacy of the Void. 2v2 with BioIce and No Regret taking on Suppy and Xenocider. Kamka takes on Suppy. Coolman takes on In Control. BioIce takes on Xenocider. And No Regret takes on Huck. And following that up the day after, we have Axiom taking on Startale. That's Axiom TCM. Legend versus Impact in Legacy of the Void. Daisy versus Heart. Hack versus Ryung in a TVT for the ages. Pet versus Soulkey. Curious versus Alicia. And then a 2v2, Pet and Hack versus Heart and Crank, with the ace taking place on Suncross. Ladies and gentlemen, my name has been TotalBiscuit. This has been SHOUTCraft Clan Wars Season 2. Big thanks to MLG TV for providing the $5,000 a month prize pool to support this event, to make sure that this event actually happens. It would not happen without them, no doubt about that. They're supplying $60,000 a year in prize money. That's a huge amount of money, so thank you very much to MLG for that, and a big thanks to our teams today, Startale and Root, for putting on a fantastic clan war. Congratulations to Startale for a hard-fought win. My name's been TotalBiscuit. If you missed any of this, the VOD will be up tomorrow, spoiler-free, over on youtube.com/TotalBiscuit. Remember to go and subscribe to that YouTube channel if you want to catch any of the VODs. And check out the Team Liquid thread for the official schedule for Clan Wars. We have all sorts of matches scheduled all the way through to the end of May at this point. Loads of stuff available there for you. Plenty of Clan Wars still to come. Thank you very much for watching, folks, and I will see you next time.